for the Midwest Premier League, and we are underway visiting Inter Detroit, going from left to right in the bright pink, and home team Troy United in the white with the gold accents going from right to left. Going up that left-hand touchline, Inter Detroit with the first attack of the game, centering ball headed away by Jacob Tremonti wearing that number 6. The Northville native Madonna collegiate player making the first defensive play of the game. First corner of the match goes in favor of the visitors. Troy put it in. Right-footed delivery headed away there by the Troy United defense. And that one will go well out of play. And goalkeeper Drew Swancutt, the Northville local, able to take his first goal kick of the match. This Great Lakes East Division, most teams have played at least 3 or 4 games so far in this 2025 campaign. Troy, this is their 6th match, having gathered 9 points in their first 5 of the season. Troy United playing here in Farmington Hills as their home in Troy is under construction. That one flipped high, looking for the run. The Troy teammate, and a little bit of head tennis there in the middle of the park. Balon, one of the originals, 4 original players left, still with Inter Detroit. Gabe Balon and Edwin Gomez Ruiz, the 2 central midfielders, been with the Inter Detroit squad its entire lifespan. Their head up there, number 77 trying to get on the ball. Balon looking for the run that looked positive, but the assistant referee on the near side puts up the flag. Good idea. Aggressive direct play there from Gabe Balon, the Oakland University midfielder. The Troy United lineup, good mix of experience and youth. A lot of players coming from the local area, a lot of Ypsilanti, some Troy, some Rochester folks. Staying close to home this summer as Inter Detroit work their way down the left flank. Centered ball. Pressure from behind. Looks wide again, stays possession. Headed away and out of the box. And that one will be shepherded by the number 9 in gold, Josh Reyes, one of those Rochester natives going into his sophomore year at Rochester. It's Rochester Christian University now. If you're tuning in late, you are watching Midwest Premier League Great Lakes East action here on the We Are Soccer YouTube channel. We've got Troy United in the white, dark and black, and gold accents, attacking to the left, playing advantage here after that foul. First attack for Troy, and it's just ahead of the run of Will Lanham, the Commerce native, trying to get on the end of that cross from LT Nicholson. It's Troy United's first attack of the day. Positive, but just not able to get that final ball onto the foot of that attacker coming at the back stick. And Detroit, powerful long diagonal, works out in the end. Can Inter Detroit corral it, and not able to. Good work by the ball kid on the far side to make the available restart quickly.
Remember, for long throw-ins and kicks, and it's okay for you to lose the ball. Stay with the thrower.
Goalkeeper Randy Lopez gets Inter Detroit going back in the attacking direction. On the right-hand touchline, number 28. It's Evan Baker. And that doesn't connect on the far side. Trying to switch the angle of attack. Danny Watkins getting stuck in there in the middle of the park, getting the ball back. And that header might work fortuitously for Troy. But the Inter Detroit defense did enough to block off those runners trying to get on that loose ball. That was a bit of a probing ball, looking for the run of Irvin Castro on that left-hand attacking position. Cut out well, but with the visitors still. There's a runner in the box. It's just over the head of Ryan Bovey. Looked like he had a little bit of room running in between those Troy center backs, but pass over his head. Taking long, headed away. Blocked down well. Good closing onto that ball by Aiden Reynolds. Didn't let that shot trouble his goalkeeper. Ball with Inter Detroit. Swinging it around. Smutek's available to the right. There's ball with him there. Good turn there. Gets around his mark. But his pass poked away. And that's a very direct play looking for the run of Thompson. Thompson beaten to that ball by the Inter Detroit defense. Both teams played 5 games thus far, both looking to get up the table here, both kind of in the middle of the pack in the early stages of this Midwest Premier League season. Both have played 5 games. Troy with 9 points and Inter Detroit with just the 4. Troy United with a +4 goal difference, but unfortunately for Inter Detroit, lagging behind with a -4. They conceded more than they've scored so far. That won't make head coach Ryan Rowe very happy, but looking for one here. That's over the head of Castro. He turns. He's got 3 teammates in the box. He checks back. Balon up top. Looking for maybe a direct diagonal run there, but that sequence doesn't work out as Gavin Brosey doesn't connect with his teammate with that attacking opportunity. Swan cut we'll have to handle here. It's down the left. Not able to connect there between midfield lines and Thompson on the left side. Troy pressing the ball, trying to win it back. High up the field, trying to get it away from these Inter Detroit defenders. Test them on the ball. Here's Captain Bylon. Also seen him play a number of times for Oakland County 2 years back. Played 5 years for Oakland University. The number 6 with the captain armband. That one's misplayed, but into the path of another Troy United defender. Here's Tremonti. Familiar with his brother Nate as well. The pass pops up Number 23, a little bit of miscommunication there as teammates kind of slammed it off of each other. Diagonal is just short of Reyes. Baker get that ball back. And here come Inter Detroit trying to work their way through the middle through Bailon. Ruiz. With the help of a teammate, they get it over to the left-hand side. That's onside. No one in the box until now. There's Bailon on top of the box, trying to get that left-footed shot. It's a slow roller. For a moment, it looked like it might have crept in that far post, but wide. But the first attempt near the goal so far here in our opening 11 minutes. Nil-nil here in the early minutes. And there's a whistle. That's going to go in favor of Inter Detroit. A couple groans from the Troy United bench after that one. Ball's back in action over on that far side. Unable to connect there, but number 18, Irvin Castro, battled to get that ball back, but in a touch in favor of Troy. Good combo. Can Troy continue? Some good footwork there, but eased off the balls, the Troy United player. Good challenge there by Reyes, but unable to get the ball back off the Inter Detroit attacker. Trying to get in the attacking third. Thought about the long diagonal, but pulled it in. Inter Detroit have to work it on back, all the way back to Lopez. Vardar goalkeeper. Beautiful day here in Southeast Michigan in Farmington Hills. West of Detroit by about 45 minutes or so. The Midwest Premier League at Great Lakes East Division action. Looking to collect 3 points and try to keep pace with the table toppers Liquid Football. Liquid Football having a great start to their season. 12 points from 4 games undefeated. Plus 8 goal difference. Fantastic 2025 so far for Liquid Football. In second, Michigan Stars U23. And with a win here, Troy United would leapfrog Michigan Stars U23s and get into that second spot and equal the tally Liquid Football. Liquid having played less. That corner taken by Inter Detroit, their second of the day. Goes out into touch, won't bother too many. Yeah, last year's division winner Cedars FC taking on the aforementioned Michigan Stars, who sit in second. As Troy United on the attack, they swing to the right, come back across left. Acrobatic attempt doesn't come off, but it's still with Troy United in the attacking penalty area. Dangerous cross, headed away and cleared out for a throw-in by the Inter Detroit defense. Troy United's best foray into the attacking third so far. Still no shots on target yet. I think that was Will Lanham. They might have laid out for that, trying to get airborne. Would have been spectacular. Left-footed shot makes Randy Lopez get low to his left. But that's saved easily. First shot on target there from Troy. First shot on goal in the game so far. Inter Detroit had one off the foot of Bailon. As this is a left footer. Will Lanham denied by Randy Lopez. Second shot on goal. That was a dangerous situation with that turnover high up the pitch. But Lanham unable to get the ball in behind Randy Lopez and Inter Detroit goal. Remains 0-0. Reyes kept the ball well, drew the foul. Inter Detroit playing a pretty high line here. About 40 yards between the ball and the defenders are lined up. Curious to see if Lanham looks to make a run, or maybe just Reyes. Lanham's going to have to chase that all by himself. He's surrounded by pink shirts. That wasn't maybe the most creative use of that set piece. And 3 or 4 Troy United attackers on that back shoulder of the defense, and once they played that ball, no one was in motion there. Lanham all by himself once the ball was delivered. Here's Bailon for Inter Detroit. Spinning, turning, looking. Switching the ball, but cleared out by Reyes at the second attempt. Shuts it down nicely there. By the number 5 in pink, Sebastian Piatkowicz. And that one looking for the run of Irvin Castro. Had a little bit of bend on it. Not able to bend it enough into the run of Castro. That was Andrew Smutek. One of those original players that have been with Inter Detroit through their tenure. It's out of bounds right in front of that Troy United bench, as there is an Inter Detroit player down behind the play on the far side, slow to get up. But looks like player in pink on that far left attacking side is getting up, although gingerly. We continue. Troy United with the best chances of the game so far. No opportunity here as the whistle goes in favor of the visiting team in pink, Inter Detroit. Bailon dummied it. Now gets the ball. And Troy win the ball back. Playing directly is number 22, Sal Thompson. And that ball is poked away from Nicholson there from the players in pink. Detroit working through the press there. Got some width to the side. Great diagonal ball. Can the player get to it? He does. But the run was in vain as the assistant referee's flag comes up for offside here. Smutek ruled to be just behind. That was a clever idea. Nice diagonal ball there. You like to see that creativity from inside to out, but didn't quite get the timing right. Nicholson was waving for the ball there in the middle of the park, but Troy worked down the right-hand side. Knocked in behind. Here comes Troy. Will Lanham tried to outpace the Inter Detroit defender, but doesn't work that time. And it goes out for a goal kick. Playing it short is goalkeeper Randy Lopez. Joey Inquinello. And Biatkowicz trusted as center backs here today. But the ball's turned over. They're going to have to do some more defending. Balon whistled for that push. The referee tried to let it go. Balon arguing with the ref, but clearly whistled for a push in the back there. Balon trying to force the player wide. Another turnover forced by the Troy United press. We'll see if they can make one of these pay off. They've had two good opportunities here in the first half. Haven't capitalized on it yet. But both of them coming from turnovers from that press. And you'd want to capitalize if you were head coach Connor James. Right-footed free kick. Goes low. Sprawling to his right is Randy Lopez. Scooping that one up. Great idea. But just not quite enough zip on that one to trouble Lopez. It might have been Reyes to take that. He said that low driven shot. Not quite driven enough. As the flag goes up again. This time against the home side, Troy United. System was a far way away when he put his flag up there on that far side. Lopez pressured. A looping delivery into the middle of the park, and it finds its way to Troy again. Good combo there. And just couldn't get their timing right. That was LT Nicholson, the number 7, who actually was the player who took that low-driven free kick a moment ago. He received the ball in a really nice position with some space. Looked to feed his teammate to the right-hand side. I think that was Will Lanham. But offside, just didn't quite get that timing right. They looked to be in on goal there. And that was a turnover they forced out of Inter Detroit in the middle of the park at that time. Creating opportunities from taking the ball away from the visitors. That ball not sent towards anyone specifically. Inter Detroit collect. More pressure from the Troy forwards. Whistled that time was Thompson. Inter Detroit go quickly. Now they're on the left-hand side. Nice cross, but cut out. Right-footed strike blocked. Defense doing enough for Troy, not letting any shots on goal so far through 24 minutes. Joey Inquinello, the Walled Lake Northern player. The big number 34 getting a touch there. Now they come down the right-hand side. We got a few numbers in the attacking third. That's a beautiful ball. First touch brought down, and it's a save. Rebound, and that's off the post. Unbelievable. Back-to-back shots. First a save, rebound shot off the bar, and somehow Inter Detroit didn't open the scoring. I think that was reactionary as much from Swancut. But what a ball into the box. Great first touch. Second touch, able to get a piece on it. But Swancut in the Troy United goal, able to keep this scoreless. Best attacking play from either side so far comes from the visitors, but score remains 0-0. What kind of reaction will Troy United come up with? Not sure who brought that down in the box for Inter. And looks like there's subs. Number 9, Reyes out, and another as well. So double sub for Troy. I think it was Watkins, also another player that came out. Scoreless after 25 minutes. My name's Robert Kerr, alongside the Point Images crew for this Troy United presentation here on We Are Soccer YouTube channel. Midwest Premier League Great Lakes East Division battle between Troy United and Inter Detroit. Troy United looking to leapfrog into second place here with a win here this afternoon. Inter Detroit looking to get back on track after only securing 4 points after 5 games. Here's Captain Bailon, or Lopez, excuse me. Inter Detroit on the top of the box. Still with it. What can they do? And they eventually do blow for a foul on the top of the box. It looks like Castro's on the ground. And Castro, I believe the Inter Detroit player who found himself one-on-one with the Troy United goalkeeper Swancut a few moments ago. My apologies to Edwin Gomez Ruiz for calling him Bailon by accident there for a moment. Similar stature in the 6 and the 8s. Looks similar for a moment, but that is Captain Bailon, number 8 in pink, standing over this. Will he be the taker? Dangerous situation. Troy United trying to keep this early clean sheet here, but facing a tough test. Dangerous situation. Right-footed strike, steps over it, and that one hits the Troy United wall. Maybe even a Spartan formation there, creating a wall of bodies. So far this season, Troy United, they opened up with a 2-1 win back in May over Michigan Futsal Factory, and then 2 back-to-back losses, table toppers Lakewood Football, 3-1 loss, and in Michigan Stars, a 1-0 result going against Troy. But those two teams, top of the table so far, but Troy United answered well with a 5-1 win over Legends FC, and then just a few days ago, a 2-1 win over the Jaguars. Looking to leapfrog into that second spot, trying to equal that tally, having played more games than Liquid Football. That ball's cleared by Swancut. Finds the foot of Lanham, but unable to bring it under his spell. The captain for Troy United really digging in there, refusing to give up any ground to the visitors. That's Aiden Reynolds is the captain, I believe, for Troy. Excuse me. It's number 20, Jeb Sneed, wearing the armband for Troy United. Jeb Sneed, the Midland, Michigan native, plays collegiately at Holy Cross in Massachusetts. It's junior year. Here comes Inter Detroit. Gomez Ruiz had pried that away, and here's Ruiz again. Right-footed strike. Save off the upright, and on the rebound, the flag went up. Swancut, to his right, puts that onto the bar, and the score remains 0-0 somehow. After a couple Troy United chances, it's been Inter Detroit hitting both uprights now. Incredible stuff from Swancut. Really put his body on the line there. As there's a pair of Inter-Detroit subs. 14. Doug Hayner into the game. As is number 12, Kyle Jennings. Nip Snead is wide right. Reynolds loses the ball. Back with Inter-Detroit. Inter-Detroit having forced a couple big saves and hit both uprights here in the last few minutes. Half an hour in, scoreless. Both teams have had plenty of chances. This one's floating to the back post. No one attacking that in pink. Yankinello stepped up well there to put that back in the danger zone, but he's going to have to do some defending. That outlet pass not good enough to spark that, as that looked like it was a 3-on-2 developing. And here's Inter-Detroit. Balon into the box. Right-footed pass. Oh, what a save by Swancut again. Inter-Detroit robbed for the third time. Great pass from Balon. He squared it into the perfect position. It looked like that was number 28, Evan Baker, absolutely robbed by Swancut. Incredible stuff from the Troy goalkeeper. It's a low-driven cross, taken care of by Snead. Cleared away by his midfield teammate. And that's Will Lanham. Number 10 for Troy. Looks like he's getting subbed as he got frustrated. He tried to use his speed again to get around a player, but the ball went out of play, and here's a whole bunch of changes coming in. Dupuis, one of those in, the forward number 6. Number 11, Fran Alvarez, another attacking sub. So 2 new forwards coming in for the home side. Back to Lopez. Pretty even matchup. Just over a half an hour gone. 0-0. Best chances going in favor of Inter-Detroit. Here's another one. That cross is bravely defended by Snead, the captain, showing why he's wearing the armband there. Great cross coming in from the left. Looked destined to be tapped in by that attacker coming through the middle. But he put his body in line, dove, and put it out of play. And that ball sent across the 18-yard box. Deflected. That's out for a visitor's corner. Smutek able to take. Coming over to take it. Troy defenders aware of his long throw ability. Here it comes. That's into the 6-yard box, and goalkeeper Drew Swancut does well. University of Wisconsin Green Bay sophomore has been called into action on many occasions here in this first half. He's been up to the task so far. 2 or 3 huge saves for his side. Big number 23, Evan Morrison, gets that wide to the right, but the ball comes back in center, and no Troy United attackers in that spot. That's a clever ball. Can the defender come and collect it? And he does. Jacob Tremonti read that well, got his angle right, able to get that ball out into touch before that left-sided attacker could get on the end of it. Nate Boos checking in, the Schoolcraft player. checking into the game. Coming in for Evan Baker by the looks of it. Baker had at least one of those big chances for Detroit. Story of this first half so far, the saves. Troy United goalkeeper Drew Swancutt. So far, keeping this a 0-0 scoreline. But on the other end of the pitch, Randy Lopez in goal for Detroit. He's been called into action a couple times earlier in the half. Not quite as acrobatically as his Troy counterpart, though. Up the middle. Here's Detroit. Going wide left. Byline uses that overlapping runner. One-on-one, trying to get on that right foot. Blocked. Tremonti does enough to clear. And eventually that whistle does come. It looked like Tremonti was clipped from behind. And eventually that whistle did come. Doing my own stats here, but I believe the shots are at 4-2 in favor of Inter Detroit. The visitors in pink going from left to right. They've definitely forced a number of big-time saves from Drew Swancutt, who takes that long. But that second ball falls to Detroit. That's going to be another whistle in the middle of the park. Started quickly. Gomez Ruiz goes back to Bylan out left. Good combination there, but good tracking back there by Nicholson. Detroit do get an effort on goal there, but it's a bit tame in the end. And that's his third shot on target for the visitors. Just the two for Troy. Swancutt goes long. That might get into the run of his attacking teammate. Left-footed strike! And that's just over the bar. And it's ruled a save. Randy Lopez putting it over the bar. First corner for Troy. And Troy United goalkeeper Drew Swancutt almost getting an assist there. He went long and direct to Clayton Dupuis, the University of Michigan Flint player. Used his speed to the most. Got in behind the Inter Detroit defense, able to get a shot. And goalkeeper Randy Lopez able to use his fingertips to get that over the bar. That's just over the head of the front post runner. Blooped back to Dupuis, who takes studs high into the midriff. First yellow card of the game goes to number 14 in pink. Doug Hayner came in studs a-showing, and Dupuis is down, and he might be feeling that for a while.
That's gotta be. Stuck to his stomach.
There's a half a dozen studs he's going to have marked up on his skin, you'd think. That was rough, but he's tough. He stays in the game. Captain Snead gave something to Coach James there. Not sure what that was. Dupuis curls it with his right foot, headed away there by Inquinello. High looped. That's towards Dupuis, who's really getting stuck in so far. He came in off the bench. Right-footed attempt. And there, he's forced another save by Lopez. He's sprawled behind, and he had to tip that over with the sun in his eyes. Second corner. All action from Clayton Dupuis Since checking in here on this left side. Really testing the frame. Chances coming in bunches for each team. There's a set of chances for Troy. Unable to score, and then a cluster of Inter Detroit chances, and now it's Troy United trying to get ahead before the halftime break. That one's cleared easily by Detroit. Sent back towards the corner kick taker again, and eventually cleared all the way out to Jeb Sneed. Northville native sends that long. Dupuis heads it long. Big run from Nicholson. And looked like he won the battle for that, did Nicholson, but whistled for a foul there deep. Troy bench doesn't agree. We play on. 0-0 somehow. After a plethora of chances for both sides, I'd say both teams have had four good chances each, at the very least. Looking to get one before the halftime break. Would be big. Bonello. The Northern Knight gets it up to Gomez Ruiz. Picks his head up, goes left. Detroit, slowly inching their way into the attacking third. Coming down the left now. Turning more direct. There's a chance for a shot. Right-footed. Wide off the target there. Found himself in some really good space in the Troy United box, but that right-footed shot doesn't trouble Swancut or the Troy United goal. Swancut not massive, but has used his 5'11" frame to its maximum here in this first half. Number of spectacular saves. That one spun up into the air near Clayton Dupuis. Taking that throw in was Connor Henson. He was amongst the subs here throughout this first half. Give his name a shout. He's going to be called into defensive action here. And that right-footed attempt by Ryan Bovey definitely snatched at that. Not the quality of contact he would have hoped for. Bovey, Clarkston native. Plays collegiately at SVSU. Had some youth experience with Waza. I'm sure he'll want that shot attempt back. Swancut plays long. Brought down well there by that central midfielder in pink. Keeps it with Inter Detroit. But now taken away and fouled. There's Bovey getting the yellow card there. Second yellow card here for Inter Detroit in this first half. Doug Hayner getting that first one. Long hopeful ball. Goalkeeper called into action. And under pressure here is that Inter Detroit backline as we are now into first half stoppage time. within a couple chances and a couple subs and a couple people knocked around, so might be a few moments. This one's onside, maybe a chance for Inter Detroit before the break, and that pass not quite accurate enough. And goalkeeper Drew Swancutt able to gather that. That was looking for the run of number 12, Kyle Jennings. But never really had a chance of that. It didn't curve or have that shape on it all to get into his run. Into his path of his run, rather. That direct pass didn't work. Cut out by Captain Jeb Sneed. And the center referee blows the whistle for halftime. So after a very exciting 45 minutes of play here in Farmington Hills, Michigan, at the Troy United in the white, gold, and black, kicking it off, getting us underway, going from left to right here in the second half. And in the all pink, Inter Detroit, the 2022 and 2023 division champs, looking to get back to winning ways after only collecting a handful of points through 5 games. And Troy United, the home team here today, looking to jump into the top 2 with 3 points here today, but they're going to have to hit the back of the net to do so, and 0-0 is the score line. I'll try to update you with any subs we come across. There was a plethora of first half subs, and so we'll try to keep you up to date with who is on the playing field as we go. As Joey Incanello gets it to the left. Left back sends it long. Sneed, the captain for Troy, deflects it, but it's back with Inter Detroit. Not controlled well or tight enough by Nate Boos, and they're going to have to reset. And here comes Troy United into the box. Second half chance. And that left-footed attempt by Fran Alvarez. Unable to get it on target. Got himself into some really good space there in the Troy, or the Inter Detroit box. And that shot didn't trouble Randy Lopez in goal.
Never got much out in that throw in. Like I said, we'll get the ball. So.
Ball with Troy. Worked through a number of pink shirts there. Number 5, Matt Rafferty, thought he earned himself a free kick. He worked the ball around his mark and ran into a bit of a pink wall there. Didn't get the call. Inter Detroit work along the near side. Here's Bylan, the captain. Steps away from a challenge, gets it to a teammate. Avoids another challenge, and Inter Detroit get into the box. But the flag comes up on the far side. Pass from Edwin Gomez Ruiz. Finding the run of Boos, but Boos must have been just a step ahead. He's looking very springy and dangerous running into that Troy United penalty area, but let down by the raising the offside flag. Sneed diagonal to Rafferty. Rafferty's going to play it all the way back to Swancutt. Had to avoid a pair of pink defenders. Dupuis looks to go direct and long to Alvarez. Dupuis looks for the long shot, but that's easily taken care of by Lopez in the Inter Detroit goal. Troy United pressing again. with the availability of subs that the amount of pressing makes sense. They don't have to really conserve their energy as you would if you were doing a full 90. Great pass there from Zimmerman. Finds a teammate in the attacking third. Zimmerman again. Left-footed strike. Has some power, but not the accuracy. But the defender from Clarkston, the IU Indy collegiate player, got himself all the way up the field, making that long walk back. But got himself in a dangerous area, got into a shooting situation, but unable to get it on target and find the first goal of the game. Yeah, somehow still scoreless. Flurry of chances for both teams in that first half, as Troy United players brought down there. There's a 1-2 between Alvarez and Henson. Henson brought down after receiving that return ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plenty of shirts ahead of the ball here. No shortage of aggression from Connor James's Troy United side. Looking to make that breakthrough. Trying to get in that top 2 in the division. With a win, they do so, at least for the time being, before Michigan Stars U23s and Liquid Football hit the field again later on. With the 5th year play for this league, Midwest Premier League. A league created and governed by its member teams. Remember back in 2020 when the idea first sprouted up in the Chicagoland area, and the idea definitely spread like wildfire in Michigan with 2 Great Lakes divisions with almost exclusively Michigan-based teams. The winner of the Great Lakes East obviously plays the Great Lakes West winner in the conference championship game at the end of the summer. That free kick is set towards the Detroit penalty area. Lansing Common currently sitting on top of the Great Lakes West division. 4 games played and collecting 10 points from those. So undefeated are Lansing Common as Inter Detroit get on the ball. Looking for some space. Maybe switch the play will do. Here's Zimmerman. Nice first touch. Here's Boos. Well read by the defender. There's a couple pink shirts in dangerous areas. And that's number 5, Matt Rafferty, trying to clear that away. Top of the box. There's Bylon. Looking for some shooting space. Finds a pass, right-footed strike off the right boot of Doug Hayner. But not enough strength there to trouble Drew Swanka too much. Zimmerman weaving his way down the field. Now he's got himself into an attacking position. Can he get on the ball in the box? He does. He spins. Left-footed attempt. Pirouetting and deflecting out for an Inter-Detroit corner. Zimmerman really making his way up from the back with style there, from front to back, or back to front rather. Got his team a corner, and that's a sub, number 11. Fran Alvarez coming off, the Clawson native. Putting in a shift. So here's the corner delivery, taken to the top of the box. Here's Bylon. Right-footed strike. Bounces awkwardly for Swancut, but bounces up into his body. Racking up the shots now are Inter Detroit. That one sent long. Sal Thompson, definitely more than a willing runner, chasing down a lot of lost causes. That pass is cut out by Troy United. Most of their chances came from forcing turnovers with their press, but counter press is on now. Good switch to Zimmerman. That pass to Bailon, cut out by Sneed. Only as far as another pink shirt, and eventually number 19 in pink, Andrew Smutek, is bundled down to the ground and gets his team free kick, and it's taken quickly up into the attacking third. Our Inter Detroit, we're looking for our breakthrough still 0-0 despite many chances on goal. Good combination in the box. Ball squirts out to the right. Floated into the central area. Headed away by Dupuis. That's blooped into the center. Last ditch tackle done brilliantly by Captain Jeb Sneed. Looked like Boos was in on goal there, but Sneed got his toe in and rolled it away from the Inter Detroit attacker, keeping this thing scoreless. Free kick right in front of the Inter Detroit bench here. Not scientifically accurate, but I believe the shot totals 8-5 in favor of the team in pink. Looked like he had an option there. Nicholson a lot closer in some space in front of him, and that is probably going to be a card. A clear push into the back from the Troy United player. Number 8, wowee, Connor Henson. I believe that's the first yellow for the home side, but not much disguise to that foul. I'm not sure if you could even really argue, but there was a little bit of conversation after that yellow card, but very obvious one as Inter Detroit work into the Troy box. That was a deft outside of the boot right-footed pass, but doesn't connect with any pink shirts in front of the goal. I think that was Boos trying to supply the danger area. Still 0-0, almost an hour played. My name's Robert Kerr alongside Point Images crew here on We Are Soccer, Midwest Premier League Great Lakes East Division action. And it's a right-footed strike into the arms of Swancut. And that's Doug Hayner again. He's been racking up the shots after getting that yellow card for studs up challenge in the midsection of a Troy United player. Wouldn't have been surprised if he saw red for that challenge. It's almost beyond belief that he came in studs like that into the middle of a player standing up. It didn't look like an accident. But play on. Who will get the first goal of this game? Who will get the breakthrough? Who will make that first move towards an almightily important 3 points? Bailon breezes by a defender. Squares it. And off the outside of the post, the closest they've come yet. I think the third time they've hit the post. Bailon just ghosted by a pair of defenders on the left side. Supplied the ball at the right time. Really good run centrally by his Inter Detroit teammate, trying to get his number on that far side. But smacked and pinged off the Troy bar. Still no goals despite plenty of efforts coming just inches away from finding the back of the net. That might have been Kyle Jennings, number 12, that was on the end of that byline service. It's Troy. Look to counter now after seeing the ball come as close as it can. And that is a corner for Troy now. In the first half, these teams exchanged chances in clusters. Perhaps that will repeat itself after Inter Detroit really being on the front foot in this first 15 minutes of the second half. Subs in for Troy. Danny Watkins and Josh Reyes come back in. Henson off as this corner's taken very long, way too long, and that's a wasted opportunity, Phil. And the second Troy United player coming off before that corner was number 6, Clayton Dupuis. Danny Watkins had his pass cut out there by the Inter Detroit defender. Well tackled there by Rafferty on the ground to get that back, but only momentarily, as it's brought up by Doug Hayner. He evades one. Now they're in business, getting into the box. Cut inside, left-footed strike, blocked by Troy. Intricate passing in the box, centered, and another save by Swancut. Number 10 and Pete can't believe it. Nate Boos robbed again. That time off the left boot of the Troy goalkeeper. My goodness. This remains 0-0 throughout. Swancut, the MVP, the man of the match. There's a lot more work to do as Inter Detroit keep on piling on the pressure. Eventually corralled out of bounds on that far side by Josh Reyes, but my goodness, some intricate passing sequences leading to an excellent opportunity. It was put on frame. I think it was Boos after the chance from Hayner a few moments ago. And it remains 0-0. Just over an hour played here. Detroit feeding into the box. Service doesn't have quite as much quality that time, and it was taken care of by Sneed, but can't quite get out of their own half. Can the home team? And some dogged action there. As that's a yellow card to the Troy defender. Number 22 in white, Sal Thompson, getting the yellow card this time. I believe that's 2 apiece now. 2-2 in the laundry department. 0-0 on the scoreboard. Chances, countless for both sides. Racking up here in the second half for the visiting team in pink, though. Got a pair of Inter Detroit players over the top. Byline serves back post. And that comes off the head of Joey Quinello. We got a pair of subs coming. A goalkeeper sub. It's Randy Lopez coming out. He made a couple of saves late in the first half to keep his team even at zeros. And I believe that's Bosco Garcia coming in, but I'll have to see who that no goalkeeper is. Not the right number. We'll have to see who that goalie is. Oh, that's Jackson Harchick checking into the game in goal. The new green monster in net. He might have to do quick work here as Inter Detroit or Troy United just marched their way into the box there. Jeb Sneed dribbled his way, sealing through the whole team there, I believe. New goalkeeper Jackson Harchick didn't have to make a save, but sure he got some sweaty palms there. Actually, I think that was the number 22, Sal Thompson, who weaved his way through the pink defenders. But we still are without our first goal of the game. My name is Robert Kerr alongside the Point Images crew here on We Are Soccer, presenting Troy United versus Inter Detroit Midwest Premier League action. Gabe Balon tried to slip in a defender. And Swancut, who's been the player of the game so far for the home team, gets his team going again, going the other way. Here's Reynolds, out wide left. Both teams have created chances, unable to finish them, however. I think it's 3 times now that the team in pink has rattled the bar. But now it's Troy United on the attacking. Had a teammate wide open to the left, but decided to shoot. Still remains with Detroit in a hefty challenge. And the Inter Detroit player bounced right back up, but was definitely caught high and was sent tumbling. It was Inter Detroit defender, and it looked like Troy United player maybe got out the worst for that. I think that might have been Rafferty who went in strong. Yes, it was. The number 5 in white. Here's the Troy United throw. Watkins. Might be a chance for Troy. Left-footed strike. There's Troy with a right-footed shot. And Harchick was confident. He knew that was going past his post, but one of Troy United's best chances here in the second half. Troy pressing high, forcing the new goalkeeper Harchick to play in his own 6-yard box. Take care of business and trying to work their way up the far touchline. Balon knocks it along. And a great pass into Detroit. Into the box, right-footed strike. And Irvin Castro. Great opportunity. Great slip ball there. Found him in stride, but unable to get it on target. Remains scoreless here at Farmington Hills, Michigan. Subs from the home side. Number 18 in white, Diego Medell, Oxford, Michigan native. Coming out, I believe that's number 10, Will Lanham, back in the game.
Also, if you see that, let me know, but don't do it right away.
Here come Inter Detroit. There's space on that right-hand side again. Right-footed strike. And missed again. Oh, so close. They've missed left. They've missed right. They've missed above. They've hit all the uprights. And missed again. An excellent opportunity. Finding some joy in between that left center back and left back. On those fast breaks, having many of opportunities and can't find the codes to get that ball in the back of the net. Another chance here, deflected shot, would be a corner for Inter Detroit. It looked like a frustrated long-range attempt, but it'll give him an opportunity to get the ball in front of the goal. Bylon takes short. Right-footed strike. Quick snapshot by Doug Hayner, but Hayner again, I think that's his third or fourth attempt, and all have found their way into the arms of Drew Swancutt. Here's Rafferty. And tried that touch around move and didn't quite work, and just decided to use his shoulder, did Thompson. Didn't work. And that's a pretty crossfield ball by Bailon. Oh, well cut out there by Troy. And Troy now on the counterattack. I got a couple runners, one left, one right. He goes left, but he's offside. He waited. He waited. And Inter Detroit sensed it. Were able to do enough to slow up their back line of defense, and pass came late. It was offside. That was a good opportunity. They haven't had too many in the second half, the home team. The left back did really well to cut that pass out and create that counterattack. Most of the chances in the first half came from causing turnovers. Rafferty to throw. Out into touch, but it stays with Troy United. Can they find anything clinical with 20 minutes to play? Scoreless despite a plethora of chances here. Cross, floated. Substitute goalkeeper Jackson Harchick did well to catch that cleanly. It bounced over Bailon's foot, but he's able to flip it over to a pink-shirted teammate. And in some space here, Inter Detroit. Looked like Doug Hayner was in there, but offsides. But the Mustachio Wonder can't believe it, but it's true, he was offside. Thompson harrying these Inter Detroit players still. Almost went in heavy from behind on Gomez Ruiz, but thought the better of it. Here's Zimmerman. Steps in an attacking direction. Has his pass cut out. One back again, back and forth, back and forth. And that's the bench for Inter Detroit getting the yellow. I think that's Eddie Jimenez. Coaching staff of Inter Detroit getting the yellow. And that's a red for Eddie Jimenez on the Inter Detroit bench. He's going to have to walk across the running track here at the Hawk. He's having to make his way. He did not agree with that call there, and he's taking a slow walk. With the bench taking the red. Thankfully for the team on the field. They don't lose any players. And some choice words to earn back-to-back yellows. Just over 15 minutes of regulation to play here in this regular season matchup in the Midwest Premier League. We're in the Great Lakes East Division today in Southeast Michigan. Two teams located not far from each other at all. One's lofted long, looking for Evan Morrison. That crossing attempt by Will Lanham, Commerce native, former Jaguar, put out for a corner. I believe only the second corner of the second half for the home team. This Troy United side start by a group of young Troy locals. Wanted to provide something for the Troy community. Right for the corner, headed away at the near post. Headed wide, cleverly, here's Morrison. Can they produce something to get on the board? Break the deadlock. Left-footed strike, and that's closer to the corner flag than hitting the goal there. Sure, that was not his intention. I think that was Sal Thompson, who had that shot attempt. A pair of substitutions from Inter Detroit in pink. Number 2877 coming in. That's Evan Baker, 28. It's more likely 17 than 77. Look to see who that is. That is Gavin Brosey. Or Bros, pronunciation. Troy looking to make their way into the box. It's head clear by Brosey. Nicely corralled there. Up on the left-hand side. Gomez Ruiz. That's Bailon again. Hayner's ahead. They don't use him. Into the box, off the thigh of Evan Baker. He looked to be in on goal, but offside flag came up. Rafferty. A little bit of contention on whose throw-in that was, but actually ruled a free kick against Dougie Hayner. He got kind of a brutal yellow card in the first half. He went in Stubbs high. He's had a number of shooting opportunities here in the second half, but they've all found their way into the arms of the goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper in question, Drew Swancutt, the hero of the first half, making a lot of heroic saves, and he did so in the second half again. And his left foot stopped a point-blank range shot earlier in the half. And that attempt saved, not corralled. Troy United maybe smelling a little bit of blood, but unable to produce anything of quality there. Now it's Inter Detroit's turn to make their way down the field. Looking to go long. Here's Castro into the box. Cuts inside. And that gave Swancutt the opportunity to gobble that up. And we're going the other way again. End-to-end action here with just under 15 minutes to play. Speed down the left-hand side. Cuts it back. Centers it. Can they get a shot? Surrounded by pink shirts. And that's a penalty. That is a penalty. Is this the time for the first goal of the game? LT Nicholson was calm and composed with the ball at his feet, surrounded by 3 pink defenders, and he turned towards goal and was brought down. Ruled a penalty, and the first opportunity, or the biggest opportunity of the game for a goal, comes in favor of Troy United. Substitute goalkeeper Jackson Harchick unable to make the save, as the first goal of the game is scored by Luke LT Nicholson, and Troy United are up 1-0 here at the Hawk in Farmington Hills, Michigan. That goal might get Troy United back into the upper echelons of the Great Lakes East Division. If this holds, it puts them equal on points with Liquid Football. Although the team ahead of them has played less games as of now, but the 3 points would get them up to 12 and equaled with Liquid Football. 1-0 here in Farmington Hills. They've been exchanging chances. Will they exchange goals? Inter Detroit, what's their answer? Bailon floats it, back post, header, and there it is! Instant reply, 1-1. Can you believe it? We had no goals for 76 minutes, and we have 2 within just a few moments. Unbelievable. Did we get the goal scorer there? And I'm not sure, but that was Bylon with the assist, floating it into the back post. Brilliantly headed past Drew Swancutt, and it's 1-1. Inter Detroit looking for a second. It went from 0-0 to 1-1 in the blink of an eye. Bylon sends it wide, and the following cross goes all the way to the other corner flag. Zimmerman goes back to Dougie Hayner. Here's Bylon. Back to Hayner. Crosses it. Oh, and just past the outstretched foot of an Inter Detroit player. It looked like a repeat of the first goal, and that is a foul from behind. Stopped the counterattack, and 2 yellow cards there for a little bit of afters. It's number 19 Smutek getting the first yellow card, and then for the retaliation, the Troy United player, I think that is the goal scorer Nicholson, also getting the yellow card. Look to get that confirmation of the goal scorer. Flurry of goals here after going 75 minutes without. As I was saying, they exchanged clustered of chances. It was definitely a pendulum game up until this point, and then they exchanged goals back to back. Who can get the knockout blow? First opportunity will be Troy United. Good defense there, and advantage being played. This one is getting a little bit testy, as that is a more than deserved yellow card. It might even be the second one. Yes, it is. Second yellow card for Sal Thompson. He already had the yellow from a few moments ago, and then he pulled the shirt of the Inter Detroit player, getting his second yellow card. And Troy will have to play the final 10-ish minutes with less players on the field. I'm getting word that the Inter Detroit goal scorer is Irvin Castro. Getting unconfirmed reports, Irvin Castro, but an excellent goal. Well worked. Bylon with the assist. I believe it was Castro on the goal. 1-1. In a feisty few minutes following those goals, including a red card. So a bench personnel for Detroit saw red, and then the goal scorer for Troy seeing red. Back-to-back yellows for both, in both instances. Right-footed strike. Bros looking to get there, but that was blocked down by Troy. Inter Detroit, man advantage, have the ball. Here's Captain Bylon. Going wide to Hayner. Hayner working his defender, going baseline, gets it across, put out of play by Sneed at the near post. Corner taken quickly. Here's Hayner. Maintains possession. Clever back heel to Bylon. Left-footed strike, saved by the foot. Second save, my goodness, Drew Swancutt. One with his left foot, one with his right. Keeping this a tied game somehow. Troy goalkeeper, outstanding throughout. Unbelievable stuff. Northville native, former Jags player. His college in Green Bay. And he's absolutely killing it here in Southeast Michigan. And that was a dangerous one. That second corner went all the way across the face of the Troy United goal. And they'll try another corner from the other side. It'll be a left footer. Headed at the near post, goes all the way across the 18-yard box. Hayner keeps it in. Right-footed cross. Headed away. But it stays with Detroit. There's some space here. Blocked by Troy. Brosi had it poked away from him. Tremonti able to clear the danger. And here's a foot race. And there's a collision of bodies here. And it's going in favor of Inter Detroit. Will Lanham didn't like it. Looked like a shoulder to shoulder. I think a non-call was actually the right move there, but definitely not a foul that would have. I mean, if the foul was ruled in favor of the attacking player, that would have been a yellow card for the defender, but it goes against the attacker in favor of Inter Detroit. Deadlocked at one apiece here with just under 5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. And this is a big opportunity, and Swan cut off his line very smartly and quickly to smother the danger coming off that right side. Inter Detroit getting so many opportunities wide now. Hayner on the left side, and Castro and others on the right. Long ball looking for Lanham. Troy United not winning as many second balls here, but they do here. Watkins finds Reynolds. Reynolds back to Watkins. Down a man looking for a go-ahead goal. That one, that cross is deflected out of play. No, it stays in. Hayner squared it to Bylon. Finds a teammate in lots of space who manages to get under a spell. That'll go into the path of Doug Hayner down here near the corner, into the shadows. And despite all the effort, it's going to come back for an offside against Hayner, who's had that called against him a number of times here this afternoon. Looking down the way, Troy United next up. They are on the road against Detroit Badgers on the 21st, and a little bit of a break. If I'm reading the schedule correctly, it's not till the 25th of June that Inter Detroit are back in action against the Football Factory. Still a few moments to find a winner here. Beside a former Harrison High School, now the community center here in Farmington Hills, called the Hawk. I'd love to see tennis courts, volleyball courts, grass fields, and here on the main field, filled with people enjoying sunshine and recreation here. Despite the unpleasantness across the country, still room for simple pleasures like a sunny Saturday afternoon of soccer. Inquinello heads it back into the middle of the park. Both teams seeking a winner. Troy United down a man. After a pair of yellows to the goal scorer, Sal Thompson. A pair of yellows to Sal Thompson. The goal scorer was Nicholson. Apologies. There was a flurry of cards. Swan cut rather. Got down well to block the near post. Corner looked like number 18, Irvin Castro. I believe he was the goal scorer. Got up really well, but it was deflected over the bar. Here's Hayner. Right-footed cross. Up to the back post, and there's another corner. Inter Detroit stacking these corners now. Racing over to take it is the number 20, Liam Zimmerman. He's played well here this afternoon. Taken, headed away at the near post. Plenty of room at the top of the box here. Long range effort, deflected over the frame of the goal. And a third or fourth corner in quick succession here. Looks like Brosie's in some space at the top of the box, but they go right into the box. Goes across. Looking for some space to center the ball. Blocked away. And that cross deflection bounced up into the Inter Detroit player's hands. Castro. And a bit of a pressure release valve for Troy United, as it's 3 or 4 corners in a row, all of which presented danger. Nice turn there. What can Troy United do? Down a player. That one's going to be offside there. The wrong player decided to engage with that. It was Nicholson, the goal scorer, the penalty taking goal scorer, and Lanham were both in there. And I think Lanham was the one offside. I think Nicholson could have handled that, but it's back the other way. Sliding challenge from Rafferty forces another corner kick. Oh, excuse me. My correction. I think that was offside, actually.
Oh, it's not.
So we're into injury time here. Maybe a chance for one more attempt. Maybe time enough for one chance. There's been a couple of dismissals, a penalty, a couple of goals, so I'm assuming 4 minutes. It's Troy United looking for one more moment of magic. Can they be creative these last few moments of the match? Trying to get into that top 2 in the division. Here's an opportunity, perhaps. Right-footed strike, and it finds the bottom of the net! Can you believe it? In injury time, Troy United find the winner, and it's number 10, Will Lanham, who's found the winner. The winner, you'd think, 2-1 at the death. Lanham took that opportunity with a plum. It snuck under the right hand of the diving Jackson Harchick. And it's 2-1 Troy United. All right. 93rd minute winner, perhaps? They'll have to navigate these next few moments to see it out. It was an absolute immediate response last time Troy went ahead. Within a minute, you'd say. Will it repeat itself? Once again, it's been a pendulum sort of a match. Doug Hayner keeps it in. But nothing doing there as Troy United played in a touch. Still we play deep now into injury time. That's centered, headed away. Maybe one more opportunity for Inter Detroit. And that's sent long to no one in particular, just Jackson Harchick to play it. Troy United down a man. Find a late go-ahead goal in the second half stoppage time, but they're going to have to defend one more time at least. Sneed heads it away. Past Sneed that time, and headed expertly by Jacob Tremonti into the welcome arms of Drew Swancutt. You'd have to believe that's enough to see this out, but you never know. It's been an exciting game here in Farmington Hills, Michigan. The ball's all the way at the other end. Inter Detroit desperate to get down the other way. Referee looks at his watch once, twice, 3 times. Surely this is the last opportunity. Byline. And that dummy, not the right choice from Brosi. And that's hard contact from Ian Quanello on Lanham. And this one's going to require the trainer. He's Lanham. He's pancaked down onto the ground, holding his head. And it looks like on the sideline here, Dan Garnell from Michigan Soccer Central / We Are Soccer Michigan. Always great to see him. There was a couple year span where he was literally at every single Michigan soccer event I went to. And Lanham's back on his feet. Tries to rejoin play, but seeing as how the trainer had to come out, he is required to come off the pitch. So, deep in a stoppage time, Troy United playing with 9 players until Lanham is able to get back on the field. And there is the full-time whistle in a wonderful game here on Saturday afternoon. Momentum and chances went one way, and then the next we went 75 minutes without a goal, back-to-back goals, and then a stoppage time winner brings us to a 2-1 scoreline. The 10 men of Troy United find a way to get the 3 points. That puts them on 12 points after playing 6 games. And well done to Connor James and his Troy United side. A scrappy game at the end. Lots of chances creative, back-to-back goals, and then the absolute stunner by Will Lanham. And that brings us to a 2-1 final. It's been a pleasure here to bring this Midwest Premier League action. Great Lakes East Division matchup between Troy United FC and Inter Detroit ends with a 2-1 scoreline. Thank you for joining us here on We Are Soccer YouTube channel. And until next time, everybody, enjoy your soccer. Thank you.
You guys were off.